Hey there, guys. So we've gone back into lockdown again. So for you guys that aren't sure of where I'm living, I live in Australia, Victoria. So yeah, gone back into another lockdown, supposedly for 7 days. Hopefully it sticks to that and doesn't go too much longer. So another reason to own a garage gym. You can still train, you can still get things done. I'm very fortunate compared to a few of the other people because, they're not going to be able to train. Their comp prep will probably suffer as a result, especially if it drags on. 1 week you just treat it as a deload, but we have had times where it's dragged on for months. So I'm hoping it gets under control and life can go back to normal. So for us, that means we're not allowed to have anyone over, no one to our homes, can't leave the house more than 5Ks, so it's very, very restrictive. For me, on the flip side, I'm literally going to make the most of it. I'm going to give myself the opportunity again to pretty much train like a full-time athlete. So I'm going to split my training up to training twice a day. I might as well bulk because there's no point in dieting if I have all this time to train, sleep, eat, recover. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm still hoping all the big comps for me at the end of the year go ahead. So I'm still going to aim for that. I'm going to train for that and just, be consistent. Tonight I did front squats. So, had a bit of a play around with them. Slight improvement, nothing drastic. Staying consistent though. But tomorrow, if you guys saw one of the posts that I made, I got some more of the really heavy stones. So I went to the landscaping place with one of my mates and we picked up quite a few. We actually ended up doing 2 car trips. So it's going to be a lot of fun the next few days. Some of the big ones, I really have no idea if I'm going to get them over that yoke frame that I built. Going to give them a try, but the main purpose for me is I selected stones that were, one, ridiculously heavy, and that was really to just lift up and hold sort of at chest height and then walk for distance. I wanted something that was just going to fit really well into that category, not being too sharp on the edges, have a lot more of the weight going down as opposed to sticking out to the sides like some of the other stones that I have. The weight of the stone has to be a good 150 plus kilos. It wasn't very easy to pick up. I cut myself as I was picking it up as well. It has a few sharp edges, so I'm going to have to get some really coarse sandpaper and try and blunt it off a little bit so it's not going to take off too much skin. But other than that, like for training equipment, those DIY Atlas stones, aka natural rocks, they're probably one of the best tools you can have at your disposal because they're never going to run out. You don't have to wait for this ridiculously long shipping time. You just go to your local landscaping place. I'm fortunate mine's like 5 minutes down the road. They have heaps of different types of rocks, from granite to mud rock to basic, heaps of other. We'll just leave it. They had a lot of different rocks, and they literally had huge piles of everything. So anything from 5 kilos to a few rocks that weighed a couple of ton. So you can literally take your pick, all the different sizes. Depends on what you want to try and do. Some of the second trip we picked up some of the blue stones, and we're fortunate a lot of them were like rectangle, and they had a very even center of gravity. So they're going to be ideal for picking up and pressing overhead because they're just so well balanced, as opposed to a few of the other stones which are just awkward and are just a battle to lift. So if you're really stuck for training equipment, highly recommend get the stones, treat them as DIY Atlas stones. You can find some that are like circular as well, like proper Atlas stones. For me, I try and avoid those ones simply because I enjoy the challenge of the oddly shaped natural rocks, and when they get really muddy, having something to grip onto is always going to be an advantage, especially when training from home. So that's pretty much it. Just a short update. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to comment below. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. And have a great day wherever you are.